You see that the governor's power can also be divided into the executive powers, the legislative powers, and the judicial powers. Do we have any diplomatic powers with respect to the governor? No diplomatic powers with respect to the governor. Diplomatic powers मतलब क्या? Appointing ambassadors and accepting ambassadors from other countries. ठीक है, वो तो नहीं है. What about military powers? Do we have any military powers for the governor? No. तो प्रेसिडेंट के केस में इन तीनों के अलावा दो पावर और जुड़ जाती है. वो कौन सी है? एक डिप्लोमैटिक पावर्स एंड द सेकंड वन इज मिलिट्री पावर्स. ठीक है. एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर्स को आप कई बार एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव पावर्स भी बोल सकते हो. ठीक है. तो ये सेट ऑफ पावर्स हैं गवर्नर के पास भी. सो लेट्स ड्रॉ पैरेलल्स विद द प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया. All the executive decision of the union is taken in the name of, so all the executive decision of the state shall be taken in the name of governor. Who appoints the prime minister? The president. Who appoints the chief minister? Governor. Other ministers at the union level are appointed by the president on the basis of the advice of. Here all the ministers of the state are appointed by the governor on the basis of the advice given by the chief minister. ठीक है. Executive powers of the governor are more or less same as you see with respect to the president, except the governor has some discretionary powers. ये discretionary powers of the governor is derived from where? From which source? Which constitution? Discretionary powers of the governor has been derived from which constitution? गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1935. ठीक है, वहां से लिया गया है. वहां पे द गवर्नर हैड द पावर टू एक्ट इन हिज डिस्क्रिशन एज वेल एज ऑन हिज इंडिविजुअल जजमेंट. ये हटा दिया गया है, सिर्फ रखा क्या गया है? डिस्क्रिशन. Do you understand that? So discretionary powers of the governor are borrowed from the Government of India Act 1935. In fact, the office of the governor is modeled on the Government of India Act 1935. पूरा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन जो है पूरा उठा के रख दिया है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट 1935 का. ठीक है, तो गवर्नर भी वैसे ही वाले. वहां पे भी क्या था? वहां पे इलेक्टेड गवर्नर थे क्या? नहीं, अपॉइंटेड गवर्नर थे. गवर्नर्स वेर अपॉइंटेड बाय द गवर्नर जनरल इन ऑफिस. ठीक है, एंड गवर्नर जनरल इन ऑफिस वाज आल्सो द वायसरॉय. ठीक है, एंड ही वाज responsible to the Secretary of State for India, and Secretary of State for India was generally a cabinet minister. ठीक है, and he was responsible to the British Parliament. It means people, a parliament was deciding our fate and we had no representation in it. ये बात थी. ठीक है. But anyhow, has any Indian freedom fighter ever did he ever become any member of parliament in Britain? Who? Dada Bhai Nauroji. Good. Chalo, aa jao wapas polity mein. The point is that the governor enjoys some discretionary powers, whereas the president does not enjoy those discretionary powers, right? So these are more or less the executive powers of the governor and some ancillary powers here and there. When we talk about the legislative powers of the governor, legislative powers of the governor are also more or less similar to that of the president. Matlab, the governor can summon and prorogue both the houses of the state legislature. I am considering a state legislature which is bicameral, and you can adjust it with respect to an unicameral legislature, also has the right to dissolve the state legislative assembly. But suppose there is a defeated ministry which prays before the governor, please dissolve the state legislative assembly because the house does not reflect the will of the people properly. Is the governor duty bound now to dissolve it? No, that's a discretionary power of the governor. In case of president, he is now bound. Okay. And you see, then how a particular bill becomes a law. If I'm saying that I don't want to go into the both houses operation क्योंकि वो थोड़ा different हो जाएगा, वो हम अगली क्लास में करेंगे. Let's consider a bill has been introduced into the state legislature. It has been passed by the state legislature. It goes to the governor. Now, governor has the following option. He may give his assent to the bill. In that case, it becomes a state law. Second, he may declare that he withholds his assent to the bill. In that case, it fails to become a law. Can he use this veto power in case of a state money bill? Yes, he can use this veto power with respect to a state money bill as well. Third, if the bill is not a money bill, he can return the bill for the consideration of the state legislature. The state legislature, upon such reconsideration, if passes the bill again and it goes to the governor, then the governor has to give his assent. Very similar to how it is happening at the presidential level. But यहाँ पे एक caveat है, वो क्या है? That the governor may decide to reserve the bill for the president. And if the governor decides to reserve the bill for the president, and can the governor reserve a money bill of the state for the consideration of the president? Yes. Financial emergency में तो करना ही करना है, लिखा हुआ है साफ साफ, ठीक है. Now when he reserves a bill for the consideration of the president, the bill goes to the president. Now if the bill is not a money bill, then president can return the bill to the state legislature. If it is a money bill, then the president has two options. What are they? Either he give his assent to the bill, or he declares that he withholds his assent to the bill. ये हो सकता है. He has a third option as well. He may allow the bill to just lie on his table for an indefinite period without expressing his mind, which is nothing but pocket veto. Pocket veto can also be exercised with respect to state money bills. ठीक है? ये सारी चीजें हम पढ़ चुके हैं. I'm just revising them. ठीक है? Now look here. When it is a state ordinary bill, not a money bill, it goes to the president. President can, apart from these options, he can ask the governor to return the bill to the state legislature for its reconsideration. Upon such reconsideration, if the state legislature passes the bill again with or without amendments, it will go directly to the president, surpassing the governor. Even in that case, it is not mandatory on the president to give his assent. That is disallowance of state legislation by the union. So if the president makes up his mind, and when I say president makes up his mind, is actually the Central Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister makes up its mind that will not allow this state bill to become a law, it will fail to become a law. They will just ask the governor to reserve the bill. ठीक है? And you know, reservation of the bill is a discretionary power of the governor. So the State Council of Ministers will have no remedy of that even in a court of law. ठीक है? Further, ये गवर्नर का पावर तो है डिस्क्रिशनरी पावर टू रिजर्व अ स्टेट बिल फॉर द कंसिडरेशन ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट, बट एक केस में कोई स्टेट बिल को रिजर्व करना मैंडेटरी हो जाता है गवर्नर के लिए. इट इज नॉट डिस्क्रिशनरी एनीमोर. डिस्क्रिशनरी का मतलब क्या है? आप करो या चाहे ना करो. मैंडेटरी का मतलब है कि आपने वो करना ही है. ठीक है? तो एक केस में कोई स्टेट बिल है, वो मैंडेटरी हो जाएगा रिजर्व करना फॉर द प्रेसिडेंट. एंड व्हाट इन व्हाट केस? व्हेन द बिल endangers the position of the high court in the state. Got it? Now, who appoints the state election commissioner? State election commissioner, not election commissioner of India. Saying state election commissioner, governor. How is he removed? Does he hold office at the pleasure of the governor? State election commissioner, no, he is removed from his office in a like manner and on like grounds how a judge of a high court is removed. Who appoints the advocate general? Who appoints the attorney general? Who appoints the advocate general then? By that logic, governor. Okay. Attorney general holds office at the pleasure of the president, correct? Advocate general holds office at the pleasure of the governor, correct? Correct. Correct ही होगा दोनों, ठीक है? Is the attorney general a full-time employee of the government of India? Similarly, the advocate general is not a full-time employee of the state government. ठीक है? Does the attorney general have the right of audience in all the courts in India? Does the advocate general has the right to audience to all the courts within the state? Yes. Corollary लगाओ ना, होगा ये, logic है ये, ठीक है? Can the attorney general become a member of a parliamentary committee? Can he attend the sessions of the parliament? Can he speak in both the houses? Can he vote in any of the house? No, that he cannot do, right? Same logic इधर भी आ जाता है पूरा बिल्कुल ठीक है. Advocate General, can he come into the state legislature and speak? Yes, he can, but he has no right to vote. In England, I told you, the Attorney General is also a member of the cabinet. But in India, Attorney General is not a member of the cabinet. He is the first law officer of India. He is not a full-time counsel of Government of India. He is not barred from private practice. तो एडवोकेट जनरल का भी वैसा ही है, इज नॉट बार्ड फ्रॉम प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिस, इज नॉट अ फुल टाइम काउंसिल ऑफ द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट. ठीक है, तो ये सारी चीजें भी आपको याद रखना है. हु अपॉइंट्स द फाइनेंस कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया? हु अपॉइंट्स? प्रेसिडेंट. हु अपॉइंट्स द स्टेट फाइनेंस कमीशन? The governor. The state finance commission is appointed by the governor. Okay, and the state finance commission deals with what? It looks into what? Yes, states and what did you say? State and local bodies. He is mostly bothered with how the money would be distributed between the state government and the local bodies, meaning panchayats and municipalities. ठीक है. State Finance Commission कितने साल में बनाना पड़ता है? अच्छा, फाइनेंस कमीशन कितने साल में बनाना पड़ता है? सेम लॉजिक फॉलो होता है, बिल्कुल कट कॉपी पेस्ट है यार. जो सेंटर में है, कंट्रोल सी कंट्रोल वी मारा है. समझ में आ रहा है? कुछ भी नहीं है, बस कुछ चेंजेस है गवर्नर के ऑफिस को लेकर, ये आपने ध्यान में रखना. इज इट क्लियर? ओके, तो this is what is the legislative power of the governor. Along with this, you know that the president enjoys some ordinance making power, so the governor also enjoys some ordinance making powers. This is temporary law, and such ordinances can be promulgated by the governor only when the state legislature is not in session, and if the state legislature is bicameral, at least one of the houses is not in session, so that it is not possible to pass a law. And such ordinance will also have a life of 6 weeks, counted from the date of reassembly of the state legislature. ठीक है, जैसे सेंटर में था वैसे ही है. In fact, this is one of the most powerful functions of the governor. Now, can the president issue ordinances for a state government? क्वेश्चन समझ में आया आपको? कैन द प्रेसिडेंट मेक ऑर्डिनेंस फॉर द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट? कर सकते हैं. व्हेन? व्हेन? नो, ड्यूरिंग व्हाट टाइम? इन नॉर्मल टाइम्स और ड्यूरिंग इमरजेंसी? Only during emergency, not during normal times. Got it? Only during emergency. But there is the governor's control anyhow in other matters. तो क्या जरूरत है? आप रिजर्व कर लो ना बिल को, खत्म होगी बात वहीं पे. मतलब एक बात आप ये सोच कर देख लो, गवर्नर भी हम जब चाहें तब लाएंगे, गवर्नर जब को हम हटाएंगे भी कब, हम ये नहीं बताएंगे. और गवर्नर कौन सा बिल अपने रिजर्व कर सकते हैं, ये उनका डिस्क्रिशनरी पावर. और हम चाहे तो आप वापस पास करके भेजो, फिर भी नहीं पास करेंगे. हम चाहे तो आपकी एरिया बाउंड्री नेम सब चेंज कर देंगे विद सिंपल मेजोरिटी. समझ में आ रहा है? तो इसलिए बहुत लोगों ने बोला कि दिस इज क्वासी फेडरल एंड नॉट फेडरल, बट दिस आई हैव ऑलरेडी एड्रेस्ड दैट चार्ज. ठीक है. व्हेन इट कम्स टू द जुडिशियल पावर्स ऑफ द, अच्छा इसमें एक और चीज वीटो पावर्स की अगर हम बात कर लें, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ वीटो पावर्स आर एंजॉयड बाय द गवर्नर? डज द गवर्नर एंजॉय एब्सोल्यूट वीटो? कैन ही विथहोल्ड हिज असेंट फ्रॉम अ बिल? यस. Does the governor enjoy suspensive veto? Can he return the bill for the state legislature for its consideration, provided the bill is not a money bill? Does he enjoy pocket veto? Yes, he enjoys that as well. Same veto power जो president के पास है, वही governor के पास भी होते हैं.